Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together, we can elevate Springfield.
All right, let's go, y'all. Time to 10X.
Hey everyone, welcome to NextGen on Elevate Springfield. I'm Ellie and I'm here with my dad, Robert.
Together, we're talking about what really matters to teens today. From school and skills to pressure, purpose, and possibilities, we'll share honest conversations, practical strategies teens can actually use, and a little dad-daughter debate.
This is about listening, learning, and growing. Together, let's elevate the next generation.
Hey, Springfield, when it comes to reliable, high-quality roofing, you don't want to leave things to chance. That's why you should reach out to Acosta Angeli Roofing, your local roofing experts serving Springfield and surrounding communities. From quick, dependable repairs to full replacement, from residential to commercial, they are your trusted pros. Call them today at 217-993-2748 or visit their website to book your free quote and inspection. Don't wait. A little leak now could lead to major damage later. Trust the local experts, protect your home, and get peace of mind with Acosta Angeli Roofing.
Hello and welcome back to NextGen on Elevate Springfield. I'm Ellie and I'm here with my dad.
Hello, Ellie. It was a fun weekend.
Oh yeah, I was about to ask what we did this weekend.
Yeah, we had our dance this weekend. That was fun. You want to tell? I think we've talked a little bit about it on the show before. Why don't you tell everybody what we do sometimes?
Well, we have Central Illinois Homeschool, so that's where we plan all of our things. We used to do game nights. We don't really do those much anymore, and that's just play board games, play some fun games with people. And then we also have our homecoming, prom, and we have our winter ball, which is interesting that the homeschool community has always done that, because I don't know who used to do it, but somebody used to do them back in I think her last one was in 2023, and that's just kind of been the thing that we do winter balls, and I forget that that's not a thing at public school.
For public schoolers, yeah.
Now that I'm saying that, it is. I mean, my cousin, Lou High has one. Lou High has a winter ball.
A winter ball and a prom?
I don't think they have a Sadie's, because I think winter ball is our substitute for a Sadie Hawkins dance.
Yeah, I guess
basically.
It kind of is, yeah.
But I think Lou High does do a winter dance and not a Sadie's. But every other school does a Sadie's dance, so I kind of forget about that. But yeah.
No, it was fun. So yeah, we had our winter ball. Had a bunch of high school students out there having fun. What was your favorite song of the night? Or do you even have one, or was it just fun the whole time?
I have least favorite song.
Oh, I know. Yeah. See, well, for those of you who don't know, I think I've talked about it before. For those dances, I typically DJ them. So sometimes Ellie can give me a hard time if I don't pick the right songs or if I don't stay current with some stuff, I guess. So why? What song did I play that was not up your alley?
Call Me Maybe, Beautiful Things.
Oh, yeah, I know, because you...
And I mean, it's not even just about, I don't want it to sound since I'm the daughter of the DJ, I get to choose all the songs. No, it's just a lot of those songs I feel we've played a lot of the time, and it just looks like people are bored with them at that point. But the second I take them off, that's just the entire suggestion.
They got requested a lot, and
okay.
I put them back on, and they seem to like it, so...
It's just interesting, because those songs are, so heavily overplayed, and it's just I don't know, we've played them at all of our dances, and I feel we got to switch it up sometimes, so some of them have to be on the chopping block to substitute for new, fresher ones, but no.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, we've had some cool dances. We've had the winter balls, the proms have been fun. We've had it at Ace Sign Company twice.
Yes.
Twice there.
Yeah.
We've had homecoming at what's the place on
Pole
the way?
Barn.
Yeah, we had Pole Barn was this year, but before that, Clayville. That's what I was trying to think of. I was going to say that place on the way to Pleasant Plains. I was trying to think of what it was called. Clayville, yeah, and that's the one where we had kind of a cool old school theme where we had the bonfire like people used to do. Nobody really does that at their high school homecoming anymore due to
Yeah.
liability and such. But we were able to do that for you guys, and the pole barn one, of course, was cool. Thank you to Audrey over there for allowing us to do it. It's a fun time. But looking forward to our prom coming up here in a couple of months over at Ursuline Conservatory.
A couple of months?
Or well,
I thought it was April.
oh, it is, yeah, because
Next month.
it's March now, so it's next month. Yeah, it's going too quick, I guess.
Isn't that a little bit early for prom? In terms of like,
Well, isn't it toward the end of April though?
yeah.
Yeah, no, not really, because
It just sucks because like we had to push back our winter dance because of everybody was sick. So now it just feels like there's not enough like
yeah,
gap
typically,
between 'em.
typically we have our winter ball just a little bit earlier, so there's a little bit more gap. But this time it'll only be about a month and a half, but it'll still be good. But yeah, that's typical timing because I mean some of the high schools start getting out in early May, so they need to have all their events done before that. So, one thing the church we go to, and a lot of churches do it, they do a thing called At the Movies. We had one not too long ago. Pretty cool, right?
They actually just had another one for JHM, like a 1 week thing. They
That's
didn't do it
right,
for the big
Adeline.
service, but
That's right. Adeline did it.
they did one for the junior high ministry.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it. So being able to see all the different lessons you can learn and themes of different movies, right? That's always a cool
Yeah.
thing that they do. So what are we doing today?
Well, today we're going to be talking a little bit about that, about themes in movies and just in that general area. You'll get it. We're about to talk about it anyway, so I don't really need to
Almost like
lead into much. So
Almost like I brought up that
you'll
church
hear
thing
it.
for a reason. Right? So, okay. So, themes, movies, lessons to be learned from movies, or I think we'll do this kind of as a recurring segment to where could be lessons to be learned from a movie, lessons to be learned from a book, lessons to be learned from a TV show, basically anything in pop culture or media, what we could take away from it as a lesson we can learn.
Because there's
What
so much
about
like negativity surrounding so much media, and I think it's important to be like to highlight like the really good ones,
Mhm.
you know?
Because there really is. I mean, I know growing up for me and then you growing up as well, there's a lot of good movies out there that teach a lot of really great
Mm-hmm.
lessons. I mean, we watch a lot of Disney stuff over the years. Everybody knows we're big Disney fans, right? So we've watched a lot of the Disney movies, and a lot of those have different themes to take away from and different
Yeah.
lessons to be learned. So.
And I think my media that I have like growing up, like especially like the current media, I think it's annoying when people I don't want to say only take it at face value, but I think a lot of movies get a lot of flack for just being, funny, goofy, silly, or whatever. And some of those are. But my thing is that if it's just so unapologetically what it wants to be, it's just trying to be that and they hit that, then that's the important part. It doesn't really matter if it's for you. I think it's important to distinguish like, okay, is this movie bad or is it not my thing?
Mhm.
Because if you guys don't know, I like to like analyze all types of media, like movies, TV shows, books, everything. That's one of my favorite pastimes, just actually looking into it.
And you would think that I would be like that too, because
But you're not at all.
being a podcast host that interviews people all the time and likes to get into different subjects and everything, you think I'd probably be a little bit more critical in a sense that like analyzing a movie or
Yeah.
anything, but I'm really not.
Yeah,
I'm
you're really not at all. I swear, I will be talking to them about my opinions on things, and then they'll just be like, yeah.
I guess I just don't get
yeah.
super deep. If I really start
And
thinking
they're
about
like, well,
it,
I just don't think about it like that. And it's literally just me saying, hey, I didn't like this character because they did this. And it's just like, I just don't think about it like that. But as I was saying, I think it's important to distinguish, okay, is this bad or is it just not for me? Because it's very easy for me to be like, okay, I think this is bad because it is poorly done, it's poorly written. It's clearly lazy, something like that. Versus it being, oh, it's just too silly. Like it's not like just say it's not your thing. It's not bad. It's just not your thing. That doesn't mean it's bad. It could be good. It's just not for you.
will you go home after this and watch the Rocky franchise with me?
Are you trying to get people to hate me on this thing? Be like that uncultured swine of a generation.
well,
They're not
I
watching
mean,
the Rocky movies.
They probably aren't. There's probably not a lot of younger folks watching Rocky, even though they're good.
You're not making
and
me
have
sound
some,
any better.
and have some lessons to be learned from Rocky.
But what do you think? Like, what's your definition of theme? Or like theme objectively has an objective definition, but how would you say it in your words?
So a theme for me would be how the story in general, or how the entire plot tries to, it doesn't always have to teach you something, but how the plot is structured to where it tells a story and tells a
revolves around
around this certain thing. And most movies have some kind of theme. They're not just going around and whatever happens. But
yeah,
I would say they're structured in a way to tell a story and to, most of the time, try to evoke some kind of emotion or teach you something, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be my on the spot definition.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you define it?
The first thing that comes to mind is just like what the message they're trying to get across is. No matter if that's like a lesson or if that's like trying to teach you something, it's just a message that they're getting across. Like if we're thinking about a movie about personal development and personal growth, kind of like Wicked with Elphaba's journey, it's not necessarily a lesson for like what she's going through and how she's dealing with all this stuff, but it is the message of the movie is how she's dealing with all this stuff. So I think it's like the general message that the movie's trying to get across. And like you said, it's like all of the things point to one thing. And this actually reminds me of the sermon from this past Sunday, actually, where Eddie was talking. And he was like, the Bible, even if they're not specifically talking about Jesus, everything points to Jesus. And that's kind of what I'm getting at here, is that like everything points at the main message, which obviously that's not all the time, but I mean, most of the time. And like you said, like even if it doesn't really go with the main message, it evokes emotion.
It evokes some kind of emotion.
A side plot, side thing, like.
Yeah, because if a movie, a book, a TV show isn't evoking some kind of emotion, it's probably not doing its job, because at all times they're trying to make you, either feel happy, feel sadness, feel disgusted, feel scared. They're trying to make you feel one of the core human emotions at all times.
Even if a piece of media ticks me off, I still respect it for ticking me off. Most of the time, they weren't trying to tick me off because they're just doing it bad.
What do you mean by doing it bad? So what gets you going?
I'm saying most of the time when like as I'm saying this, you guys are gonna think like, oh well, that's a good thing because they're trying to tick you off. No, they're not. It's just they're genuinely doing everything they think is right, but it sucks, and that's what ticks me off. But I still respect it because I like to feel any type of emotion because it's fun. It's fun to crash out because they're doing so bad.
Well, and you're big on like the storyline too, in terms of if they leave plot holes or if they don't respect the movie compared, the book when they're putting together a movie and things like that. Those things get you going that might not get other people going.
And not even just that, not even just like an adaptation. I just watched like a romance movie recently, and it was the most like dog crap Wattpad. You guys aren't going to know what Wattpad is unless you're like younger, but Wattpad is basically.
Hey, I'm younger and I have no idea what that is. Or am I not that young?
Wattpad is an app, and it's where you post all your fan fiction, and it's the cringiest thing you have ever read in your entire life.
Okay, I guess I'm not young enough to know that.
It was the cringiest thing I have ever seen in my life. It wasn't even an adaptation. I mean, it may have been, but I've never heard of any of that. But it was horrible, and not even just because of like book adaptations. Like I can genuinely just take the piece of media and be like, this is horrible. This is awful. Not just because it's not for me, just because it's not well done.
Well, let's dig into Wicked a little bit. You mentioned Wicked and what are some of the themes you see around that?
Well, my biggest theme that I see in Wicked is the political allegories in it, especially in our political climate nowadays. I definitely see parallels within that. For example, the power of propaganda and how powerful that can be genuinely, because you say, like, one thing that really stuck out to me is when the wizard, our antagonist of the entire movie, but he was talking, right? And he's like he's their savior. He's their entire leader. Everybody loves him. They think he's awesome. And, Elphaba's like, you're a liar. You need to tell them that you're a liar. And he's like, even if I did tell them, they wouldn't believe me now. People are going to believe what they want to believe, no matter what I say. I could come out right now and be like, I lied about all of it. Everything's fake. I'm the bad guy. and they're still going to go on to love me because that's just how it works. They're not going to switch so easily. And I think that was really powerful because once you get somebody's like idea about you, it's very, very hard to switch it. Like very. And I don't know, if you can read between the lines, you understand what thing I'm talking about right now within our political climate and how it coincides with each other.
But you know what's crazy about that is that the original book that the movie's based on and everything. I mean, what is it? It's like 100 years old now. So I mean, they had those thoughts about the political climate then too, and how it's probably rang true for almost every generation. If you go back and look at all the different generations that have read or watched a Wizard of Oz, Wicked, whatever type of movie, and they could all probably relate to some of that political satire, political allegory that's in there. So, I mean, to me, that's pretty good writing to be able to withstand that and also mirror what's going on in society and in your media.
And I definitely think it's annoying when people are like, read your history so history doesn't repeat itself. All history does is repeat itself in every single aspect of anything ever. That's all it does. It's not gonna change. It's just interesting how, something happens and we have movies, books, TV shows, history books upon history books about this specific thing, warning us about this, and yet we're still blind to it because the people back then didn't have that, but we do, and yet it's still... Yeah, but another thing in that movie that I thought was interesting is, like, he's the leader, and he was able to manipulate Elphaba at one point, and we thought, oh, maybe he is actually good. And then nope, switched like 2 seconds later. Like, I think that was really good too in terms of just like movie writing, where it's not just, it's not just black and white, and how he did manipulate her into being like, no, I'm actually good. I'm not doing anything. And then 2 seconds later, it's like, oh, never mind. You're actually really, really bad. That was the biggest theme. And I think the theme that hit the most home currently for me. How about you?
Well, there's also throughout the movie and the books and everything, the theme of really how you treat people and not being biased toward people based on the way they look or any kind of disability that they might have, things like that. Those themes run through that as well in terms of with Elphaba being green. That's a way that they're making her different based on her skin color to make people feel a certain way or make people act a certain way. And I think that theme runs throughout, and the lesson to be learned through that is to make sure you're treating everybody the same, regardless of who they are, where they come from, or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one of the biggest themes of it as well. And again, it's 100 years old, and they were talking about that theme now, but it rang true all the way through for the next 100 years because our society still has a problem with discrimination and not treating people the right way, and based on whatever factor. So that's one of the big ones I see in there.
Yeah, and I also think it's interesting how we each took like a different route with each of them too. Like, you went more towards Elphaba's like personal story, and like not that it only has to do with Elphaba, but the big part of it does have to do with our main character and not the rest of the characters. And then I took the overall. But I think Wicked has so many different themes in it, though. So it's not just one big theme and everything. Like, there's so many different ones in there.
But, I mean, those two are a couple of the big ones. The political stuff, you can see how she was treated because she was different than everybody else. That's one of the big themes throughout. And I guess it could be said for Glinda, too, how she was treated based on what she was like. You know? So... I mean, she was probably given a free pass because she was the bubbly and everybody loved her person.
Yeah.
So I guess that's too.
Like, I have a funny story about the whole Wicked thing too, is that I had somebody that I know watch Wicked and she watched it. And one of her big things was that she just didn't like Glinda's singing voice. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. And then she didn't even finish the movie. So I don't even know why we were having a conversation about this, but she was like, yeah, Glinda was just so mean to Elphaba. I just didn't like her. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, well, number one, you didn't finish the movie. The whole thing is that, Glinda, she wasn't Glinda wasn't the bad guy. Like, it's sad whenever you go into it and you're just like, "Oh, well, Glinda's the bad guy then." The whole point of Wicked is that there's nuance to situations and there's not just good and bad. That's the whole point.
Right.
It's not just the Wicked Witch and the Good Witch. There's good and evil in both of them, and that's the point. So in the movie, Glinda isn't as good as we think she is, but that doesn't mean she's automatically the other way either.
Right.
That doesn't mean she's automatically evil. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, Glinda's not like mean, and it's like she has her redemption arc by the end of the movie. That's the point where it's like, okay, Glinda actually isn't that nice because she's insecure and because of all these things, but then she apologizes and she has this like realization. She has this thing by the end of the movie. She's like a good character, not just well-written character, but she's a good character by the end, morally too, because she goes through growth. And I was trying to explain that, and then her face is just like, and then mom is just like making fun of me. She's just like, and then like both you guys both told me it's just like, well, most people just don't think of it like that. And I'm like, it's not thinking about it like anything. It's just saying that is what the movie was trying to get across, and I'm telling you that's how it is. And then everyone's just like,
No, that's
that's just not how everybody sees things. Most people
Well-
just take them at face value. Glinda's just mean then, like that. And it's like, I understand like the whole like Glinda thing. She's a very complex character. So it's like, I wasn't even going into like the full depths of like her or whatever. But it's just like the general idea that like, no, she's not bad. She's not good. She's both, just like Elphaba is, how she's not bad, but she's not good either.
No, I like that analysis a lot. That's the kind of dichotomy of good and evil, to where we all have good and bad in us, and we are always striving to show the good, not the bad, but we all have both sides inside of us, I guess.
Also, for the record, it was both of you guys making fun of me, just so you know.
No, I don't think I didn't make fun of you. I'll say what I said.
Wait, just so you know, so I'm not like picking on mom.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
I hear you. So
both
she doesn't.
Both of you guys were kind of like, well, nobody really thinks of it like that. I'm like, well, it's like saying that.
No,
I don't know. I can't think of an example.
Here's what I meant when whatever I said was, most people are watching a movie just to be entertained and don't really put a whole lot of analysis into it.
Yeah.
So I may have said something like that to you, not making fun, but most people are just like, yeah, it was a good movie. It was great. Music was phenomenal. Characters were great. Done.
Yeah.
So they don't analyze as much. So yes, I know I've said that to you before.
Yeah, my point is
you
just
analyze
that
more than most.
My point is just that I understand that obviously I have analyzed Wicked, but in me saying that, hey, no, she's not good or bad, she's both, isn't necessarily analyzing it. It's just like watching the movie and being like, oh yeah, that's what they said. It's not really going deep into the whole character and everything like that. It's literally just being like,
not.
Elphaba's green.
But true. But on the flip side, to some people, that would be analyzing, because they're more surface level looking at it, and then
but I
taking one step beneath the surface makes it analyzing. So.
I just think it is funny. Like, other people, whenever we're talking about movies or TV shows or opinions or anything like that, the other people are like, I didn't like this. And it's like, okay. And then I'm like, well, I liked this because of this. That's what they were trying to get across where they did this. That's totally fine if you didn't like it, but I'm giving you more of a reason, so then you're not just hating on it based off of wrong information, basically. That's what I was trying to get across with the Glinda thing, is that you can't really like take something and be like, well, Elphaba just is blue though. But she's not. You can't hate her because she's blue, because she's not blue is the thing.
I get it.
Like, I understand it's way different with emotions and with people being mean rather than like an objective color, but that's kind of what I'm trying to get across. Is just I think it's interesting.
But I'd say overall, pretty great movie, right?
Yes.
I think it's pretty well agreed upon by most people. I think that it was a really great movie.
Yeah.
Whether we analyze it or not, it was a pretty great one. So
yeah,
I know that's one play that we've seen a number of times. Well, you've only seen it once. I've seen it multiple times, but
yeah,
it was a good one.
Yeah,
So.
I've already kind of talked about this, but I'm a kind of person that I'm trying to figure out a balance between like, okay, this isn't for me and this is poorly done. Because thing is that I might sound like a hypocrite right now, because if you've ever heard me yap about something that really made me like really, really mad in media or literature or anything like that, I'm talking like it's objective, because genuinely when I say, hey, this was done horribly, I have to be like 98% confident in that, because if I'm like getting really fired up about it, you know that like and it's fine if you enjoyed it, like whatever. I enjoy like cringy, not very well done things all the time. I'm not the type of person that's like, well, it needs to be like really good objectively for me to enjoy
Right.
it. Like, no, it's finding the difference in those things. That was cringy and kind of stupid, but it was still enjoyable and fun. So it's like, it was good for me. I don't know about for anybody else, but it was good for me versus like, okay, that was really poorly done. And that's why I don't like that.
So, any of you that listen to the show often may have heard me talk about in the sales and marketing arena, we're talking about being completely sold on what you do and what you offer and who you are. Ellie here, when she has an opinion on a movie, like she was just hinting at a second ago, she is completely sold on what her on her analysis. That's kind of what she was getting at there. She didn't quite get all the way toward the completely sold, but that's where she's at on it. So you can definitely tell the passion in her voice, and the volume goes up a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, a little bit.
And then all I get is, yeah, definitely.
That's definitely right.
Yeah, for real.
You got that right.
Yeah, I don't really look into it like that. Yeah.
Maybe a no doubt about it. I'll throw you one of those every now and again. You love those, don't you?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, anything else with Wicked before we move on?
I don't think so.
Okay.
With Wicked specifically, no.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get into another movie next time. Bring in movies and books and TV shows. One that we've watched together here recently is the Percy Jackson franchise, right? So we might have to talk a little bit about that. That's been a good show on Disney.
Yeah, but I think one of the points I was trying to get at is that like something can be objectively just not done well, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. But I do get really fired up about it if it's not done well, especially when it has like potential to be way better, or if they could have done something way better, they just chose not to. And then it's just like, and like that still is opinions. But then again, why do we have movie critics if there's no objective, okay, this would have been better if they would have executed this in this way, so then it would have been executed properly? Like, why is there the Rotten Tomatoes? Why is there movie critics at all? Why do movie critics watch movies before they fully come out? Why is that even a thing if there's no such thing as objectively like, yeah, this would have been better if they did it like this?
Yeah, we'll do that in upcoming episodes. What do you say we go home and watch Rocky real quick and do that one for next week?
No, thanks.
Come on. Rocky 2?
No.
3?
No.
4?
I will if you get me Jimmy Jones.
5? Creed?
Waiting on the Jimmy Jones.
Creed 2?
Jimmy Jones?
Creed 3?
Jimmy Jones?
I guess I'll go watch it by myself.
Well, thank you for joining us on NextGen on Elevate Springfield. We'll see you next time.
See ya. Looking for personalized insurance with hometown care? David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agents, here to help you protect what matters most: your family, your home, and your dreams. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, David and his team are proud to serve the Springfield community with trusted advice and reliable coverage. Local service, real relationships, peace of mind. Call today or stop by their office. They can build your dream protection plan together. Call 217-726-6343. Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. Hey, don't forget, while you're out on social, check ours out. You can check my personal one out at Robert Ferriell, at everywhere. Check out those Elevate Springfield pages, those Big Dog Business Coaching pages as well. Check us out over on YouTube. Give us a subscribe, give us a like or a follow on any of those channels. We would certainly appreciate it. So hey, take what you learned today. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great.
When I first walked into Shudokan Karate Club, I was just looking for a way to get stronger, but what I found was so much more. Here we train in traditional karate, the real stuff, passed down through generations. Every punch, every kata has purpose. I've learned self-discipline, confidence, and how to protect myself. Not just in class, but in real life. It's not about being aggressive, it's about being prepared. This is more than a club, it's a way of life. Join us at Shudokan, traditional, powerful, real. Ki-ai!